All right, good evening, good night, good morning, whenever you hit play on this video. For me, where I'm at right now, making this video, and obviously it's going to take time to upload. Good night. Hope you all are enjoying the Monday night game. Right now, Seattle's up 14-3. They literally just started the second half off the kickoff. Seattle's coming on the field. Welcome back. Week 5 preview of Grade A Fantasy. As we preview the Week 5 slate, real quick, let's just go over how well Week 4 went. My rosters, I think my rosters decided to make up a new position with all the injuries. With all the O's and Q's, especially with the O's, I had a lot of new positions: Cubos, Ribos, Rios. Even my flexes look like Flexos. I'm surprised the defensive special teams didn't say Disto or something like that. That's how bad it went. And if they didn't do well, if they didn't get hurt, they just didn't do well. It was not a good week for me at all. Put in the comment section, please, how bad your week went. Or did you, like most people that I saw in the 20 max, a couple of people were in the 213s, 211s. Then there was a small gap. And after that, after 213, 211, nobody else could crack over 210. There was a decent amount of 200s, but it's just the way it went, man. It was just the way it went. And of course, I'll have a similarly frustrating opening to when I do grade A prize picks, because at least I cash back in some stuff. Hopefully, y'all didn't tail the cards that I made, but some of my picks did hit. But we'll go over that when the time is right. Prize Picks actually just started uploading some of their props, so we will definitely get into that. I'll let most of the players develop as they keep adding more, and as usual, I'll try to get those in on Thursday. They still add a few more people by Friday, but most of the what they call a slate, what Prize Picks will call a slate, because technically it's fantasy, it's not a parlay. That's not what they like to call it. But there are people up now, but that's for another video. Let's get into Week 5. Week 5 is very interesting. I think this is the week where you might actually want to focus on the running backs, and the running backs are kind of where I want to start, even though, we do want to start with QBs. Those are the guys that, are the ones that you're going to want to get right in case you want to, stack right, of course. But since I did like some of the guys that are priced up and some of the matchups that they do have, we will start with them. Derrick Henry is getting back to Derrick Henry. He's still getting the load. He's still getting the work. He's still getting the snaps. He's in another great position on the road against Indianapolis. Not only is it a good matchup, but hey, Anthony Richardson, like I said, he's still a rookie. Yes, he has the running capability, and yes, we're talking about fantasy, but sometimes you do have to put game structure to it. And hey, if they have trouble moving the ball, a team that likes to run, what's the one thing that they like? I mean, any team likes field position, but if they can't move the ball, and the defensive backfield of Tennessee does step up, look for a lot of opportunities for Henry, because I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities where they're going to be playing on the short field where the front seven holds the Colts, and you'll see Henry and the Titans starting drives from like their 35-40 instead of deep in their territory 20-25. So as you can see, he finally had his outburst game. He had okay games, and then boom, he had the typical Derrick Henry type day, even threw one. So I mean, don't expect him to throw one all the time, but definitely expect him to see continued pass volume and, of course, carry volume. David Montgomery is playing so well that the Jahmyr Gibbs talk and hype has definitely calmed down. It's damn near silent. Look at those carries. I mean, for 8,500, he can't do what he did week 1 and week 2, but you're hoping for 8,500, he at least is going to be dropping a 20 piece, which is he is capable of doing so. He's not getting much in the passing game, even though he definitely has he definitely does have pass catching capabilities. He did do it a lot in Chicago, But right now, David Montgomery behind that very underrated Lions offensive line, he is definitely a strong pick. Another top pick that I also will be looking at. I mean, it's like last week when we previewed the wide receivers. Like, if you look, yes, there's a lot of people who got injured, but there's a lot of people, at least the top 5, 6 running backs, even though, yes, ranking wise, it doesn't seem so. But a lot of these guys in the top 5, 6, 7, maybe even go down as far as Kamara, and we'll get to him in a minute, why he's still in a good matchup, even though it's against New England. Bijan Robinson, he's on the team. He's on the team that predominantly runs the ball. The Houston Texans have been a defense in the past 2 to 3 seasons that is historically bad against the run. So Bijan is definitely one for me. I actually like, as much as I love Derrick Henry this week, I mean, I honestly think you can go down and save 500 or go down and save an extra 200 and start with these two. I mean, yes, GPP's Derrick Henry is a must, but if I'm trying to save just a little bit money and get similar upside and save a few $100s, I actually like Montgomery and Bijan. Raheem Mostert against the Giants. That's definitely another sweet matchup for Raheem Mostert, even though Achane is right on his back. It seems like that's definitely something you have to get right. Could you possibly get both of them right? Or do you get the one guy? It seems like you're going to have to just stream ownership, and it seems like it'll be smarter to play the guy that's going to be less owned. Obviously, I got a feeling with the A-Chain hype, Devon A-Chain is only $500 cheaper, so ownership-wise, it might be better to play Raheem Mostert, 500 more. But like I said, that seems to be a key this week. You're definitely without a doubt going to have to try and get that right. As you can see here with Raheem Mostert, he's involved in both the run and the pass. But it's A-Chain with just explosiveness. And he's the one that has the game-breaking ability. I mean, 8 carries for 101 yards. I mean, come on. And he's also getting pass catching ability. So I love both. But if you want to play the ownership game, let's be real. As long as A-Chain doesn't break one and Raheem Mostert continues his consistent play out the backfield, carrying and catching the ball, then the ownership game is pretty much what you're probably going to want to play with the Dolphins' defensive backfield. Alvin Kamara, man, look here, man. Derek Carr coming back, he can't get the ball down the field. So that damn near killed my prize pick prop on what's his name? Oh, man. The wide receiver slips my name now. Chris Olave. But as long as his arm hurts, guess what? Alvin Kamara is going to keep getting dump-offs. And when you look at that, 14 targets for 13 yards, yeah, he didn't do much with them. I think the Tampa Bay defense, like I said, it is a good front seven, but, I mean, quarterback with a bad shoulder, you're going to have a bunch of guys. I mean, open field, I mean, Kamara's not the guy to make people miss like that. He's pretty nimble, pretty quick, but he did get the work. And like I said, points are points. Obviously, that's really kind of bad on FanDuel that he didn't get the yards. He was this is definitely one of those where he was a better play on DraftKings, because automatically the receptions alone gave him 13 points, and then everything else was just a bonus. The receptions alone gave him 13. Everything here he did, FanDuel was a 14.9. So Kamara was definitely a great play. He damn sure wasn't optimal, of course, but you probably definitely could have used him in your lineup. Isaiah Pacheco against Minnesota. That's a pretty nice matchup. I love Breece Hall against Denver defense. That is a very good play. He's not a pure bargain like he's in the low 60s. He's right there in the mid 60s, just right. It's good. It's pretty fortunate that this is the week where he might break out, where he hasn't broken out, where Breece Hall could have been like in the mid 7s by now. But like I said, he's like Javonte Williams. He's coming back off that injury, and I think this is the week that Breece Hall gets right. Because let's be real, Breece Hall hasn't been right since that opening drive where he had that long 70-something yard run, and pretty much haven't heard from him since. Before I keep going down, I think might be low owned. He's at a fair price. But I think Joe Mixon needs to be he needs to be like showcased. Something's wrong with Joe Burrow. Something's wrong with that offense. Joe Mixon needs to have. Could this be the game where Joe Mixon has what he did last year? That one game where he scored, I think, 4 or 5 touchdowns. Cincinnati needs to get right on the road against a very feisty. Yes, I understand the rank of 30th. Yes, Christian McCaffrey and that 49ers offense just literally ran over them. But Joe Mixon has to be showcased. I really think y'all should really look at Joe Mixon this week at 7,000. As we keep going down, James Conner runs hard, all the effort in the world. Like I said, that Cincinnati defense is nothing to be feared. Same price as Breece Hall, so it'll be interesting to see what that ownership is like. Alexander Madison has a tough matchup, but like I said, they need to be able to run that ball to at least control the clock. That's why you should like running backs against Kansas City. They will be emphasized to help control the clock, but I got a feeling in the end they'll probably abandon it. And, they have the offensive weapons too, so that seems to be a game that will probably favor more the passing script, but look for Madison. It depends on how they do in the first half. Because if the minute Kansas City gets up 13 or 2 touchdowns or even 17, then yeah, Madison is pretty much scripted out. Like I said, as we're watching the Giants game now, Matt Breida might be a nice play against Miami. If Saquon doesn't play, it's too bad Breida's not like in the 5,000s. Even though he's in the low 6s, I still kind of don't like him, but he's something to be mentioned at least. But personally, I definitely would like Breida if he was like a 57, 59. Like 6,000 would have been my limit, but 63, I don't know. Me personally, I think that's a little too much for Breida. But like I said, no Saquon. He's going to get the opportunity. He's worth clicks. And he definitely helps with the salary relief. As we keep going down here, other spots that I like. As I keep going down here, like I said, even though you got Breece Hall, you can play the leverage game, and when he goes into for relief, you can see if Dalvin Cook could break off a couple of screen passes or anything like that. He might be a nice leverage play at 5,900. I definitely like coming down here to there he goes. I really think if Minnesota does do their best to try and stop the run, at least obviously they got to contain Mahomes and Kelsey, but containing the run, a hard runner like Pacheco, this could be one of those games where McKinnon he's interesting. He's going to be interesting in this game because if this game is high powered, back to back, long drives or quick drives, that's the kind of game that preference and that shows McKinnon off better. That's the kind of game script he's better at, getting schemed and shovel passes, screen game and everything like that, wheel routes. That's the way a lot of people think that Kansas City Minnesota game is going to be. It's going to be in the dome, going to be on some nice grass turf, so going to be a fast game, so could be a good one. And of course, they haven't been playing well, but like I said, that Jet defense is still a Jet defense. Now, when that news came out, it came out yesterday. I don't have to click on him yet, but Javonte Williams, it was already said that was just to keep him out the game. Like I said, they're going to be precautionary with him. If Breece Hall gets dinged up, they're going to do the same with him. Like I said, I keep saying Breece Hall and Javonte are the same. 2 talented rookies that had bad injuries last year. Anything that gets dinged up, they're gonna be easy on them. If Javonte doesn't play, McLaughlin, I guess is a good play, but me personally, I'm not too favorable of running backs against the Jets defense no matter what. But like I said, salary relief at 5,700. Because I honestly think after Jerick McKinnon, you could look at Clyde Edwards-Helaire and also Samaje Perine if Javonte's out. After that, I really don't like anything down there. There's not really much to talk about. I didn't even take much notes on these guys. These are the guys that if you want to play the GPP thing, Tajay Spears, does Derrick Henry get hurt? Michael Carter, does Breece Hall get hurt? After that, it's pretty much done down here. I don't really have much to say about these running backs here. From here, we can go to QB. And there you go. You got Patrick Mahomes at 92. Nobody at a really, really crazy price. But, 92, him and Kelsey, automatically, you already know that's an expensive stack. Plus, he's most likely at the game of the week. Jalen Hurts, if you're looking to save and still have some, Mahomes scoring upside, then Jalen Hurts is probably where you want to go. You save 600 at 86 as he's at Los Angeles. You have Lamar Jackson, who the last couple games is getting to fantasy MVP Lamar. Passing the ball, yes, but he's running a lot. 8,400 against a very soft Pittsburgh defense. Now, we all know how tight, dirty, scrappy divisional games are. These are nasty rivals here, so we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see how that goes. But does that make me want to fade Lamar? Hell no. I will still be jumping on Lamar Jackson. Anthony Richardson has a nice matchup, kind of in the Lamar Jackson kind of space, where he does have a, he has a tough front seven to go against. But like I said, if Anthony Richardson could put some passes together from the beginning instead of being in all pass mode in the second half, then maybe Richardson is probably a good play too. Save a lot of money there. Tua against the Giants. I mean, what else can you say? That's most likely, even though Kansas City and Minnesota's the game of the week, Tua, Dolphins are going to be upset that they lost that game to their rival, the Bills, so they're going to look to put a beating on the Giants. That's probably going to be the most popular stack of the week, more than likely. Like I said, there goes Kirk Cousins, the opposite side of that game, 76. You got Daniel Jones. I mean, like I said, as long as he can get the offense moving, and at the same time, he has that rushing ability. You always got to like him. Jared Goff against the Carolina defense. You got to like that. Those are some cheap stacks for 7,400. Stroud is just, oh man. I think he is he pretty much rookie of the year right now, because 2 touchdowns, and no lower than 242 yards all year. And will scramble if he's in trouble. So, CJ Stroud, I mean, we need to, if you haven't done it, get on the CJ Stroud train, because his price, my boy Nico Collins' price, they're all just going to continue going up. No more cheap stacks with that. That's now a regular price stack now. Right now, when you look at this, I don't think he's really had any good games yet, but I guess when you look at the Baltimore game or anything like that, like you just right now, especially with that leg, you just don't know what kind of player you're gonna get. You're hopefully gonna get the Baltimore Joe Burrow, where he throws 2 touchdowns and throws for 222, but you're gonna need more than that. But that seems to be fine for, like, if he gets that stat line, that seems to be fine for 7,000. But right now it's just something that you can't trust. But for GPP purposes, there might be people that might be a little frustrated with Joe Burrow and how that Cincinnati offense is going. That's why in this matchup, I prefer to showcase off Mixon. I don't think I'll be getting to too many Cincinnati stacks this week like I did last week. But like I said, it is a favorable matchup. Arizona is spunky. They're not giving up on anything. They play everybody tough. But here's the thing. If Cincinnati just be able, they just have to just be able to put it together. And if they're going to put it together, I think they got to go through Mixon. They literally have to go through Mixon to get it right. That's just my opinion. Matthew Stafford, I mean, if they're down, Matthew Stafford's going to be throwing the ball a lot, but he's nursing a hip injury. And I think the furthest I think I'll go down without a doubt is Joshua Dobbs. Joshua Dobbs, fantasy-wise, it's working because he's learning the offense. Okay, as you can see, he's progressively. He's just looking better, more comfortable in the pocket. He's scrambling around the pocket, but to get it open down the field, he's not scrambling just to save his life and make a play, because he doesn't, know where the wide receivers are going. But Joshua Dobbs is a sneaky play against a very suspect Cincinnati defense. I mean, you could literally look in the stats that he's getting better week per week. 132, 228 in a touchdown, 189 touchdown, but he's scrambling more, 6 for 55, 12 for 48, 41 dropbacks now. But the thing is, the game script, Arizona, yes, they're going to put up a fight, but they're always down. So that's why those Joshua Dobbs stacks with Marquise Brown, screen passes to James Conner. We'll get to some other Arizona running backs as well, because I did pay attention to that game quite a bit. Joshua Dobbs is a sneaky stack, 6,600. he definitely will help you open up to see what he can get. And like I said, he has the upside because he can scramble. If he could give you, the like the game against the New York Giants, like that was a pretty good game. The game against the Giants, he scored 25, and he scored 23. Like I said, you don't need him to win the game. You just need him to play and just continue to grow in that system. And if he can at least give you for 66,000 any score from the last 3 weeks, any of these scores, if he could duplicate any of those performances from the last 3 weeks, Joshua Dobbs definitely a sneaky play for some low owned stacks. You could. I don't know if I'm gonna triple stack him with. I don't know if I want to triple stack him with James Conner out the backfield and then Marquise Brown. I'm definitely gonna Josh Dobbs, and I won't run him naked. If I'm picking Josh Dobbs, I'm definitely gonna stack him with somebody. So it's either Josh Dobbs, Conner, Josh Dobbs, Marquise Brown. And that's a nice segue. Since I said a wide receiver's name, we'll just go right into the wide receivers. He had a bad game, so I guess that helps the Fan Duel algorithm. Tyreek drops a bit, but 9,400. Justin Jefferson, 9,200. He didn't have the best game. 8,700 for Jamar Chase. A.J. Brown, Puka, and Amon-Ra St. Brown, all right there around each other. 82, 8,077, all with nice matchups. I understand Los Angeles Rams. Like, they did a pretty good job against Pittman and these guys. But like I said, they literally shut down Richardson until the second half. Puka is just Puka. I really think you guys should still be comfortable picking Puka again against Philly. Cooper Kupp just literally started practicing with the team this week. I really don't think he plays this week. It's his first time practicing since the injury. I don't think, and if he does play, I don't think they give him. I don't think so. I really don't. I have to see now if they just come out and say like, hey, yes, he's playing the full workload, he's ready to go. Okay, fine. You might want to lower your Puka ownership, but right now I'm doing this preview as if Puka is going to continue being the Cooper Kupp in the offense. But to be honest, I still like Puka regardless, either or. I'm just saying like maybe you want to lower your ownership there because I think the person who's going to take the hit is Tutu Atwell. Because it's going to be literally Puka, Tutu, you got Van Jefferson there, and then you have Cooper Kupp back, and then of course you still got Tyler Higbee, who's another favorite target. Because normally in a regular Rams offense, if he's looking for them, yes, he's looking downfield, but we all know Matthew Stafford looks for Kupp first. Sometimes he looks for Kupp second because he runs deep slants and deep crosses, and then he'll look for Tyler Higbee and the rest of these guys. That's why Puka's getting such the value he is, but I still think you should be fine with Puka. Does it make it nervous if Kupp comes back? Take some of the targets for 8,000 off Puka? Yes, it does. It doesn't make Puka a good 8,000 price if Kupp comes back, but that's just news that we're all going to have to wait for. Amon-Ra St. Brown home against Carolina. You just got to love Detroit general, but I always love Detroit at home. Devontae Smith, same boat with A.J. Brown at 7,500. Until somehow that AC joint get better or they put in Jameis Winston, I can't. I'm not even touching on props this week. Like I said, once I put it in on prospects, I can't change it. You got 5 minutes to change it. And then it wasn't until Sunday that they said that Jameis Winston was going to be the backup. I was like, oh, man. Nico Collins, yes, he can continue that hot streak. Like I said, it's the front seven of Atlanta. The defense has been playing well, but the strength, it's one of those Tampa Bay, Washington situations that you hear me always talk about. Atlanta's stronger in the front seven, weaker in the back four. Back five is the nickel. Still trust the Nico Collins Stroud stacks, but like I said, it's not a cheap stack no more on FanDuel. That's now over 14,000. Now, interesting here. We'll stick with this game for a bit. T. Higgins. He's definitely somebody that I'm saying he's out now. Normally when somebody is playing with cracked ribs, they'll try and worry about it, wear a flak jacket. The news that he had was, if I remember properly, well, they said he could play, but he has rib fractures. So right now he's questionable. If he doesn't play, you definitely, even in the struggling offense, for the price relief, I was already looking at this guy already. Where the hell is he? I should have just typed his name. He should be around here somewhere. Because they did boost him up, yes. Tyler Boyd, who still hasn't done much. Tyler Boyd was just 5,700, 5,800. Didn't do much. but Fan Duel jumped him up $400 or $500 just in case T. Higgins does not play. So they priced him up at 62. He's a play if T. Higgins does not play. If T. Higgins is in, I don't think I can touch Boyd. I mean, him and his productivity for 6,200, nah, I can't do it. It's the same thing like when I was just talking about the last running back. I wasn't gonna do it. No, not for that price. I can't do it. Not for that price with the fantasy opportunity. I can't do it. Let's scroll back up a little bit. I like Jalen Waddle on a redemption game too. Bounce back. I'm calling that bounce back thing like I did a couple of weeks ago with a bunch of other guys. Got that correct. So bounce back week for Jalen Waddle. Nice price. Him under 7,000. He's got to be a must. He's got to be a must play. Jalen Waddle under 7,000 in that offense. In that offense, he is definitely a play without a doubt. So if we're gonna really look at the price opportunity there, I love the Jalen Waddle price more than anything. I think he's definitely going to be one of the more popular plays. You could keep scrolling down to, not even scrolling down, he'll be up next. You got Adam Thielen at 67. He's still getting the attention. We all wanted Andy Dalton, the quarterback, but guess what? I mean, the volume wasn't as heavy, but for fantasy in the week, it's still a lot. He just didn't get into the end zone like he did the last previous weeks. But Adam Thielen, he's not cheap Adam Thielen no more. I mean, he's still at a nice price, but 11.7, like I said, that's the volume. Like 11.7 is still going to be what he's going to get with Bryce Young. He just needs to get into the end zone, because with Andy Dalton, he got heavy volume and he got the end zone. So, you know, Adam Thielen is definitely somebody to think about. Bounce back week for Michael Pittman. Got to be against that weak Tennessee back four. And the reason why that game script works is because I think if somehow that Tennessee defense does frustrate and get to Anthony Richardson and they try to, run out the clock, guess what? That's gonna make the coach speed up the game. So look for Michael Pittman to definitely bounce back. Last week only 5 targets for 1 for 15. If Tennessee shrinks the game with their running, then it kind of works for Michael Pittman, because look for them to try to speed up the game and get it back to him after a disappointing week. And hey, who knows what that offense is going to look like with the possibility of Jonathan Taylor coming back, which is a great thing for fantasy in general. Definitely one of the favorable fantasy players that we all know and love. As you keep going down, yes, I mean, hey, like I said, Marquise Brown, 6,400 for what he's doing is a great price. Him and Jalen Waddle are at great prices. Look at the target value. And he's been in double figures. He scored in double figures 3 of the last time, and it's in the mid-teens. It's not like he's just getting over double figures. So Marquise Brown is definitely a pick that I like. Like I said, Tyler Boyd is somebody that he's got to wait for. He's got to wait for injury. There goes Tank Dell, back at a reasonable price. He didn't have such a good game after a 2-game hot streak, 3 for 1. Everything went to Nico Collins and the way that game script went. But like I said, you can still take a chance on Dell, because like I said, I would definitely trust Stroud. I definitely trust Stroud with his game playing ability and the way he's slinging the ball, on top of just how competent he is in the pocket. And like I said, Dell is definitely one of his top receivers. So I definitely like that. If we keep going down, like I said, part of that Kansas City game, I think it's one of those games that all wide receivers are in play. Jordan Addison. If he could somehow play like he did in the Kansas City game, maybe you want to look at some cheap jet receivers that like Allen Lazard. Like I said, Tutu Atwell, you got to watch for him. He could be a good play, but the minute Cooper comes back, then, like I said, I think he just started practicing. I don't think, unless he pulls in a good practice, then yeah, Tutu's a stay away. But if Cooper gets held out, and it looks like he's trying to come back for this week, I think he definitely comes back next week if he starts practicing next week. But we'll see. Like I said, Kadarius Toney, that game is all over. I really don't think I could keep going down to anybody else here. I mean, there goes KJ Osborne, who's also somebody. Had a touchdown in that high scoring game against the Chargers. Marquez Valdez-Scantling. You just gotta play that game. You just have to play that game with the who's gonna get the touchdowns with KC. Now here's something interesting too. This doesn't hurt Amon-Ra St. Brown, but him coming back, their rookie Jameson Williams coming off suspension. What was it, suspension or injury? I forgot what it was. But with him coming back, reinstated from suspension from the Gamison policy, he's definitely going to take a little bit away from Laporta and from Josh Reynolds. So it just seems to be how they're going to work him in. We'll see about that. And when I was talking about Arizona, man, this kid right here, he impressed last week. Definitely got more reps and made the most of it. I mean, he's been getting a bit targets here and there and making big plays. So I guess they finally decided to hey, let's put him in some more. And had two touchdowns last week. Without the touchdowns, obviously he has a pedestrian day of 7 for 76, but his targets keep going up and up. And as you can see by the targets, the receptions, and the yards, he's definitely a big play receiver. 3 receptions for 56, 2 for 86, 7 for 76. Michael Wilson is definitely somebody I think anybody could use. I think especially in cash games, GPPs, you're hoping that he does something, half of what he did last week. But for 53, you're hoping for him to look something like the Dallas and the Giants game with just a few more targets, a few more receptions, obviously, and then a few more yards and one of his big, long plays downfield. And then Michael Wilson will definitely pay off a $5,300 salary with Joshua Dobbs as a stack. As we keep going down, do I like anybody here? I mean, big play ability with Odell Beckham. If you come off that ankle injury, the Pittsburgh defense is not that. Like I said, as long as Watt can't get pressure to the quarterback, the Pittsburgh defense is kind of a mess. Other than that, they go Rasheed Rice, Nelson Aguilar, Robert Woods. Like I said, you're really digging down the bottom right here. So, but don't really know how that's all going to work. But yeah, that's as far as I'm going. I don't think I'll be doing much dumpster diving this week like I tried to. But like I said, with news and injury, you never know what might open up. This might be the quickest I get to this position. When I did my research, I looked at this and I said, holy shit, there's not really much going on. When we look at the tight end position, it's really this simple. Kelsey at this dumbass $8,700, $8,900 salary, they're really messing with this Kelsey Taylor Swift crap. I actually like Hockenson because at least Pittsburgh does defend the tight end pretty well, but I think Mark Andrews is still worth his salary. But yeah, in the KC game, definitely I love Hockenson probably more than Andrews and Kelsey because of the volume that's going to go to him and at the price. Because once again, it's expensive, and then drops down a cliff from 76 all the way down to 6,800. I hope Darren Waller could do something against Miami, but really it's all about Laporta after that. And then after that, it's dart throws. Take your pick. It's literally dart throws. You got people hurt. Dart throws. Take your pick. Tyler Higbee now has a thumb, and he was going in with an Achilles issue. You got Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz is interesting because, like I said, Arizona, they play feisty, but they're always down. So you can see Zach Ertz get some garbage time. But really, it's like take your pick here. I don't know what to do with the rest of the tight ends, to be honest. This is just ugly. I really only like only four tight ends, to be honest. It's only 4 tight ends that I really like. Dumpster dive. If he's throwing the ball like he continues. Last week, if you did take a chance, just Dalton Schultz did catch a touchdown last week. So once somebody at 4,900 catches a touchdown, pays off the salary. Other than that, nah, I'm not going down nowhere near here. Let's jump right into the defense and get this done and over with. So I did my defensive research, and pretty much what I came to the proposition is there's literally, I think, 6 to 7 defenses, and I'm gonna give you the range of obviously what you would like if you wanted a pay up option. I think I like one defense in the mid range, and then there's two for pay downs. There's two for pay downs that I like, and then we could just get this episode over and done with. So, paying up. Baltimore at 5,000. Miami at the Giants, I like that for 4,900. I mean, Miami at home against the Giants. Lions versus Carolina. Lions at home, I like them at 48. Philly against the Rams, I like them at 47. But if you really want to be honest, I really just like the top three. Philly, they should have did what they did against the Bears, but hey, they might come out angry, might try to, lay the beat down on the Rams or whatever. My favorite mid-range would be Jets. And look at that, they're right next to each other, 4,200. Even though they're on the road, I do like mid-range Jets. And I guess you could say the same thing, because if Zach Wilson does have one of his turnover games, then yeah, you could also like the Broncos as well. I'm dropping mid-range there. To me, the best pay downs are these two defenses right here. I like Arizona against Cincinnati, because if Joe Burrow and that offense still comes out struggling, they could get a couple of turnovers for 3,700. Same thing with Houston. If Houston could build a lead and force Ritter to pass, because as soon as the lead gets too big, you're not going to be able to run the ball like how the Falcons do. So if you could get them to pass, if they could build the lead, game script the run out of it. Yes, that hurts Bijan, but he'll probably get the runs inside the 20. But to make Ritter throw in between the 20s during a drive, I see Houston possibly, and the Houston defense has been playing well. I could see Houston getting some sacks and maybe some interceptions off Ritter, because as you can see here, except for one game, Houston's probably the best paydown defense all season. And there you go with the Week 5 preview for Fan Duel. Once again, just want to put it out there. Anybody interested in joining the league, please put your Fan Duel name down in the comment section. Also, tell me how your week went. How many guys in your lineup ended up injured or hurt? Don't even worry about the bad plays. Just comment, how bad did your lineup look with the injuries? That's what I want to know. But other than that, hopefully, hey, I'm ready to bounce back. I was taking notes the minute this slate dropped, so I'm ready to go, guys. I'm going to take a look at the end of this game. I see Seattle's up 21-3. I'm going to end up watching this game just a little bit, but other than that, good luck with your research and your news. This is Grade A Fantasy with the end of the Week 5 preview. Signing off. Good luck. Good night.